Hey, what's up, guys? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Today we got the Pocket Change Market Report for June 22nd, 2022. We're going to take a look at some of the neatest, most impactful errors and varieties that people have found just by simply going through their change, hunting through bankrolls, or maybe doing a little hunting and cherry picking online or at a local coin shop or show. That's right. There's a number of different ways where you could find some of these, but people have not only enhanced their collection by going out there and finding these things at the cheapest possible price, a lot of folks are also making this a livelihood as well. Supplemental income style type of work here. It's a lot of fun. People love doing it. And again, great way to make some extra money if you want to. People are doing it right now. So I've had a number of questions regarding this market here in the last week, and things seem to be kind of rolling along. Nothing really jumps out at me as selling for a lot more money than it should, or something that's plummeted through the floor. We're just not seeing a lot of that. I think folks are really dedicated to doing some roll hunting over the summer, among a few different things, but generally things kind of simmer down during this time of year. But there are coins, if they show up on eBay and people need them, they will buy them. And then oftentimes the money's still pretty good on them. So, just to kind of recap, the normal stuff as usual, every single coin is raw. We don't show any graded material on the PCMR. The main reason is it costs a lot of money to grade error and variety coins. Just attribution alone can cost upwards of $65, especially if you're sending it to PCGS. So there's no need to do that if you have a $20, $30, $50 error coin. It's still going to be a $20, $30, $50 error coin even after it's graded. And then finally, all the images that you see here today on this video are 100% original to the listings. Okay, so we didn't doctor anything up. We didn't juice any of the photos so they're a little bit lighter, more focused, things like that. No, you're going to find the best and the worst listing photos. You might even get a little bit of photography lesson as we go through here. All right, so let's see what's shaking up in the marketplace. These are all sales from the last, I would say, 36 to 48 hours worth. We're going to start it off with a little paper money. How about this $1 bill here? This is a 1981 $1 Federal Reserve note. Nothing really to note on the front of the bill. It just looks like a regular $1 bill, right, guys? The serial numbers look fine. There's no misalignment of any of the print. But when we look at the back, there is indeed a what they call a solvent smear or an ink smear. Okay, they're both kind of the same thing. So you see that there on the right side. Nice color matching green compared to all of the other green print on the back of the note. This one ended up selling for $50.64. This is one of the smaller types of solvent smears that we've seen, but still, managed to sell for a pretty decent amount of money. All right, so definitely no shortage of 2022 coinage out there, and there's still some pretty neat stuff, minor and major, to be found. Here's another one here. This one's been around for a little while. And used to be that this coin had sold somewhere in that $30 to $40 range. They've settled down quite a bit. They're not as major of an error as some would say. But you're going to find these on the 2022 P Maya Angelou quarters. And what we're looking at here is going to be the small little cut. Very, very small. This is a coin actually I bought one of and paid a lot more than what this one sold for. But these are out there. They're actually quite common, and they can only be found on Philadelphia struck examples. This one right here showing a little bit of circulation wear. It's not perfect by any means. It still managed to sell for $13.17. If you're looking to search or hunt for some errors, these new quarters, definitely the place to cherry pick. A lot of good stuff's been found so far. Now here's another newish coin. This is a 2020 Lincoln Shield cent. There's a lot of really good stuff here to examine. So let's go ahead and wrap what we have going on. First of all, coins off center. It's pretty easy to see, probably by about 10%. In addition, it does have a partial tilted collar, so you see this extra stepped rim area right here. All right, so the collar that holds the coin in during the strike was tilted a little bit, causing that the coin is actually struck on the edge or that corner of the collar, and that's how you end up with that anomaly there. But second of all, there's a little bit of a what is going to be a rather nice interior die break right here. So this is one of the earlier progression stages of this. Like I said, there's a lot to unwrap with this coin. Pretty neat. And this one ended up selling for $25, which is one of the more higher priced similar errors of this date that I've seen probably since the beginning of the year. All other examples have sold in that $10 to $15 range, but I think just because of the grade and the things that you could find on here, this one got a little bit more. Now, this is a cool one right here. This is a 2020. It is a West Point Salt River Bay quarter. Now, you guys know that these were produced in limited quantities. Only 2 million were made of each West Point coin during the 2019 and 2020 America the Beautiful campaign. So these were highly collected, highly pursued, right out of change. The moment that they dropped, people were camping out at their banks in the hopes of obtaining some of these. Now this one's really neat, and you do find some of these strikethroughs on occasion, especially on the Salt River Bays and the Weir Farm, two specific quarter designs where you do come across some of these strikethroughs. This one right here, over the first few letters of the word quarter. So that's what that looks like right there. Might even be a little bit of something here right on the neck area. As far as I could tell, it could be the case. This particular quarter, whoa, watch out. This one sold for $99. I do know that West Point quarters, which with much more major strike-through effects on there, will command a lot more money on the secondary market. I've seen some examples exceed $400 to $500, especially on the Weir Farm. There's a few strike-throughs that are quite nice, and they command all that money. And the big reason why that they do command that kind of money is that they're being found on these limited production West Point coins. So when you add a few of those different intangibles together, you get coins that are going to be quite coveted, for till the end of time, I would say. The next one that we have here is the 1995 Lincoln Memorial Cent. This one right here, I forgot that this one even existed, but there's no better coin to show this error than on a really nice gem red example. And this is a BIE die chip. So there's a little die chip that connects the B and E in Liberty. These are normally found on 1950s and 60s Lincoln cents, but on occasion you'll find them on much later dated coins, going all the way up into the 2000s. Very, very nice coin. This one sold for $7.30. While it doesn't seem like a whole lot of money, it's a much, much newer coin. If you're able to find something like this, why not take the 700 times face value? I know, I'm just trying to, show the lighter side and the positives of finding a coin like this. Now, here's one of those ones that you could cherry pick if you wanted to. I found a number of these over the course of the last 25 years. This is a really cool variety that can only be found on the 1897 Indian head cent. This is what they call the one in neck variety. You can see this right here. I believe this is a Snow 1, by the way. That's the attribution number. So there's an actual number, a digit 1, that was punched into the neck area inadvertently. So they're quite strong, easy to spot. This particular example, even though it's a very low condition grade coin, maybe like a good 4 or something to that effect, still sold for $33.88. This is a coin that once the grade gets higher, these things shoot up in value because they are that wanted out there, especially by Indian head cent collectors that like to assemble full snow variety sets. This is an important one right here. The next one that we have here is, again, another 1900s era coin, and a very, very affordable one at that. Finding a no cents 1883 Liberty V nickel can be quite easy for around $5 to $10. All right, so that's the cool part, and you're going to find one generally with a lot of detail left, like this one. Normally on much lower grade coins, you're going to see that Liberty is completely worn away. But this particular example is on the list for a different reason. And the planchet flaw that you see on the reverse, what looks to be a crack is indeed a lamination that could be a little bit of a clamshell as well going across the edge there. So something like this, as innocent and minor as it appears, certainly has its audience of collectors. This one right here ended up selling for $30. And this one was bid up through 11 bids. So pretty neat coin, great photography, not too bad here. I would say this is a winner all day long. Our next bit of currency is going to be this $1 silver certificate. It's a 35E series, but you see that white line looking thing that goes across the note? That is actually a gutter fold. All right, so the sheet before any of this was printed had a wrinkle in it. And when you print over the wrinkle, it's going to show a printless gutter area that you see here. These are quite common on notes before 1990. And they come in all different shapes and sizes, very small, very long and large and all that stuff. This is a good one right here, by the way. And the note is in really nice shape. There's a little bit of the back as well. You could see that gutter fold going across there. This one right here, pretty good value, ended up selling for $72.02 with 18 bids. All right, so the Indian head cents are getting a lot of play this week on the PCMR. Here's another good one, featured by one of my favorite sellers, Coins and Cards. It's an 1864 L on ribbon Indian head cent. It's in really nice shape, but if you look close enough, these are really nice clash die errors that you see in the fields. Very, very strong on the reverse too, to the point where the clashing of the feathers is easily shown. You just don't see that too often, but to have clashing this major on one of the key Indian head cents, and that's the L on ribbon 64. I mean, you can't understate the importance of the coin, but when you add that error, it's like, you're getting 2 for 1 here. This one ended up selling for $381, and that's with 25 bids. Just a beautiful looking coin. The next one that we have here is a 1985 P Jefferson nickel. This one is actually a double struck error. So the secondary strike that you see there is about 95% off center in comparison to just the main strike. Coin's in decent shape, but I'll be honest with you, it's showing some circulation wear. And, anybody that has held this coin in their hand, not knowing what they have, yeah, they probably thought it was damaged, which is a pretty easy thing to mistake with stuff like this. This one ended up selling for $36 with 4 total bids. A very attractive looking example on a very much later dated coin. Alright, I always tell folks to look out for large lots that you could buy. Okay, the real reason is you could take something like this that someone has bulked out, to just to get rid of them. Alright, normally bulk lots sell for a lot less money per piece than, say, if you sold them individually. So this is where that opportunity comes in to recognize lots like this. So this is a lot of 19 earlier pre-1982 Lincoln cents that are all struck off center. Now here's the key to this. Every single coin is bronze. That's important because these are going to be a lot more desirable because they are bronze. Not many people are going to hold in higher regard the copper-coated zinc coins. All right, they're just not a favorite, but people will buy them if they're collecting by the date. So the idea is you're going to go and buy this lot, and then you're going to turn around and list each and every single one of them on their own as maybe a buy it now listing, and the idea is you're trying to make money. You're trying to at least double your money, if not make more. This one happened to be quite a steal. It ended up selling for $114 shipped. So I see the perfect scenario with this here being is that you're going to take these coins, you're going to photograph each one individually, list them, and probably ask like $14.99 a piece for them shipped with free shipping. Excuse me. And by the time you factor in shipping fees and the actual eBay fees, you're going to double your money if you sell them like that. Now, it's not going to be a quick sale, right? These are coins that you're going to post up. You know, one coin might sell immediately, another one might take a month later, another one might take 6 months later. You're just going to have to accept that. They'll all sell eventually, because I firmly believe the coins that I see before me are in really nice shape. There's no, say, you know, damaged anything in here. The coins are relatively clean and problem-free. So that's going to work a lot into the favor of the person that bought it, if and only if they're going to resell it. Now, the only downside is it appears that all the coins have no readable dates. You know, and that can be a deal breaker with some folks that are looking to cash in on lots like this. So $114, not too bad. That's a pretty good amount of money, and that offers a lot of possibility to easily double your money. Now, this is only one of the biggest varieties you could find out there in Mercury dimes, and they sell just as easily and just as well raw as they do graded. So again, this is kind of like one of those coins you don't necessarily have to grade, especially when they look like this. Much higher graded specimens like AU to Mint State, I would say probably grade those. They're just going to be worth a lot more. Plus, it's more of a peace of mind kind of mentality for the folks that do buy into stuff like this. But this is the 1942 over 1 variety, so it's a very popular overdate, and the coin is in really nice shape. I would say it's probably like a VF30 grade on average, and doesn't appear to be cleaned. It just looks like a really honest original coin. This one right here ended up selling for $715 with 59 total bids. And I'll tell you this right now, I had sold an XF40 of this coin for about $200 less, and that was, I believe, last year. So, you know, sometimes it'd probably just be easier to withhold from grading coins like this, because they're going to sell for themselves. They sell themselves. That's probably more appropriate. But $700, man, that's a really good amount of money for this one. Here's a 2007P Roosevelt dime. This one is struck what appears to be off-center, or it could be an uncentered broad strike. You know, it's, again, needed for a Roosevelt dime collector that's looking for this particular date. Might be one of the more scarcer ones. This one sold for $22.94. The coin is in pretty good shape. Here's our next lot. We have a lot of 4 Wartime silver nickel. So these are 1942 to 45 era silver manganese coins. They got the large mint mark on the reverse right above the dome in Monticello. But each and every single one of these coins all exhibit some sort of lamination on the obverse of each of the coins. You can see them right there. You know, as opposed to selling these, you know, singularly, maybe the seller just wanted to get rid of all of them. But that might also mean an opportunity for someone that does buy it to turn around and flip them piece by piece. So this little lot right here sold for $24.99. Probably not a ton of money or opportunity here at that buy-in rate. You know, you might be able to make probably $10 selling all 3 individually. You're really going to have to decide if that's something you want to do, or just move on from it. Now here's a cool one. Here's a 1982 large date Lincoln Memorial cent. This is a copper bronze era coin, but it also features a cud die break right over the words God and we in the motto there on the obverse. Very nice, strong, bubbly cud. So a piece of the die had fallen off, and at some point in the process of striking these coins, just due to wear and tear. So when they strike up other coins, it's going to show as a raised voided area on the coin. Of course, that's where all the metal flow kind of like goes into when the coins are being struck. This one right here is sold for $30.50. Again, I'll say it again. Cuds are kings these days. These are incredibly liquid type of error coins. They are quick, easy cash when you find them, and oftentimes they sell for $25 and up, depending on the size of the cud. All right, here's a $5 silver certificate. Okay, be on the lookout for these. Most dealers don't pay attention to little nuances like this. This is a 53A. Yeah, it's a really nice, pleasing example of a silver certificate, but check out the overprint. It's misaligned a little bit. It's misaligned to the right. Just looking at the blue district seal, it's supposed to be centered on this 5 intaglio print, and it's not. So it's moved over to the right, but you know, it's in some way it's kind of minor. The third print or the overprint isn't overlapping other design elements from the first print, which is important to some collectors when they go and buy these things. But this one, because of its this grade and age, so to speak, does a lot for it. This one right here ended up selling for $66.98 with 14 total bids collected for that one. There's a back image of the note. Again, a very nice crisp example right here. All right, so our next lesson, as always, is going to be hunt through your silver. You just never know what you're going to find. Here's a undated piece dollar. Sure enough, this thing looked like it came out of just bulk silver lots. You know, cull piece of Morgan dollars. Has some pretty neat stuff that are generally hidden if you don't know what you're looking for. A piece of the coin had fallen off. So we're going to call this a defective planchet, which is about the most generic term that you could use for things like laminations and cracked planchets and, you know, things like this. Pieces that have fallen off. But wow, the pretty neat find right here, just right out of silver. This one sold for $46.99 with a total of 5 bids for that one. Coming up next, we have a pretty nice coin here. This is a Lincoln Memorial cent. You can tell it's a memorial on one side of the coin. It's very well struck. The other side, well, can't really tell what it is, right? So this coin was struck through a kind of like a mid-state capped die. Furthermore, it does exhibit a pretty neat later stage brockage as well. You could see the Lincoln Memorial area all stretched out at this point on there, so that's why it's a later stage. Pretty neat coin. These are being found in circulation, and these again are another hot seller. This particular example sold for $41, and that's with 11 total bids combined. All right, finally, we have a what I would say a pretty decent sale on the recently discovered clash dies on the Sally Ride quarters. Now, this is not the new coin on the out in circulation any longer. The new Wilma Mankiller is officially out and live in circulation, so look out for those. You never know what you're going to find, but you could see the clashing of Washington's profile on the reverse of the coin. It's very strong, and you see little bits and pieces of clashing on the obverse as well. So what does this one sell for? I know we had one that sold on the last PCMR, I believe, for around 20 to 25 bucks. Are we following a similar pattern for this? Not really. This one ended up selling for $80. Compared to the previous coin I talked about 4 days ago, this particular example exhibits a much stronger clash die than the previous one. So, you know, a much nicer, earlier state clashing that exhibits a lot of what you want to see. And because of that, it did sell for a huge amount of money, $80. So if you find these, might be time to flip them, because the money train won't last. The more of these that enter the marketplace, the more that's going to affect the overall value. Hey, what do you know? Another Indian head cent, this time at $18.99. Very nice chocolatey brown. You know, I would say this was probably like an AU53. It's got a lot of detail left. It's got 4 diamonds from what I could see on the little ribbon there on the obverse. But this one is also a repunched 8. All right, so this one you can see the extra curl of the 8 and the extra inner curl of the 8 right here, and then also the 9 as well. For those of you that aren't aware, the older coins from like the 19th century, the dates were punched individually by number. So, much like mint marks were up until 1989, mint employees had little punches with the actual numbers of the date, and they punched those into the working die. So, it leads to a bunch of, just crazy varieties like misplaced dates and repunch dates and things like that. This is another great one here. This one sold for $129.98. These are fun to cherry pick out of dealer stock. I've done it so many times that it's like taking candy from a baby, because most dealers don't pay attention to stuff like this. Now, this is a really good looking 2021 Tuskegee Airman quarter with the infamous strike through on the building right there on the reverse of the coin. You can see that right there. A little bit closer up, you can see that, and along with the feeder fingers, this is what they call field restricted strike through. The feeder finger actually has a little bit of that paste on the edge end of the feeder finger, and it scrapes along the top of the working die. So, it's something that we're seeing a lot more of these days. They're even on the much newer quarters, the American women quarters, so this is something to look out for. This particular example sold for $36, and that's with 17 bits. Again, this is a much more smaller anomaly of this strike through. The much bigger, longer ones will command a lot more money. So we have two coins back to back, both from the same seller, but we have this what looks to be a 1998 Lincoln Memorial cent with a lot of strike through, just a lot of general weakness. Right here, so that die had some sort of grease on there. That's that lubricating stuff that helps the machinery work a little bit efficiently and better and all that great stuff. So be on the lookout for coins like this that show a lot of general weakness. This one sold for $29.21. So that's a pretty good payday on something like this that otherwise is pretty well circulated. And here's another one as well, this time a 1996p Lincoln Memorial. This one right here sold for $33.97. So a little bit more money, and it's from the same seller as the previous coin. And we do have two Buffalo nickels back to back, both showing the same type of variety. This is a 1925S Buffalo nickel. The coin is in pretty low condition here. I would say probably a good solid good. A good solid good, right? That makes sense. The coin does have a little bit of a dig or a scratch right here. So, if you need this one, it's definitely around, and they're not particularly cheap either. This is a 2-feather variety. The third feather that's usually right here has been abraded away or over polished. Which is a pretty common thing to see on a number of dates of Buffalo nickel. This one right here sold for $12. These things can get pretty out of control price-wise for much nicer condition coins. And here's another one, this time on a 25D, another 2-feather variety. This particular one right here sold for $13. This one is just loaded up with circulation wear. I don't see any damage per se. It's just a really worn nickel, but it does have that 2-feather designation on there. Here's a 1976p Roosevelt dime with a pretty substantial curved clip in there. It even has some Blakesley effect. This is a flattened edged right here. Again, people do collect these by date, and a 76 is always popular because it's the aforementioned Bicentennial year. So yeah, there is that. This particular coin right here sold for $54.99. I think it has everything to do with the Bicentennial date. It's always a hot year. Again, more silver to look for and more errors to find. 1921p Morgan dollar is what I would say your marquee common date Morgan dollar, right? These things grow on trees and they're all certainly available. Pretty close for melt value, especially this date right here. This particular one, however, has a strike through. There's probably more grease and stuff. So you notice the weakness, kind of like this swath of weakness here that goes through the Lady Liberty's temple area next to the eye, and then into the hair, into the Liberty, and then into the corn husks or whatever. Or the little wheat stalks. Yeah, there you go. Man, I don't know my agriculture. I'm going to have to kind of bone up on that. This one right here, geez, $135 and 97 cents. Yeah, we got to put the extra 2 cents in there. $136 is what this one sold for, and I can imagine in a perfect world, someone waltzing into a coin shop, spotting this into a bucket of just silver junk, picked it up for around $30 and made a killing on it. And there's a lot more where these came from. This might be our last note for the day. We have a 1950 $10 bill. Judging from what I'm seeing here on the front. Actually, no, we have one more note. That's a good one, too. Judging from what I'm seeing here on this one, we have a misaligned print reverse. So the sheet was a little bit shifted. Maybe it got bumped a little prior to the second back print there. And, the front is perfectly margined. The back, not so perfectly margined. You can even see a pretty good portion of the second note there right above it. This one ended up selling for $79.88 with 19 bids. Okay, so I threw this one in here. It's neither an error or variety, but again, there's a lot of people that are vastly interested in a 1969 Lincoln Memorial cent that exhibits really strong mechanical doubling. All right, so that's what that looks like. It's not the legit double die that we all know and love that's worth like 50 grand. But this is just a really nice specimen of a coin that probably gets more attention than it deserves. Mechanical doubling or strike doubling is usually something that occurs when a coin is being struck. One of the dies has a little play in it, so there's going to be a little shift, a little shimmy during the strike action, a little die hop perhaps. And it cuts into the actual devices. So as you can see, the devices have shrunk down considerably. All right, and that's one of the things to look out for with a genuine double die compared to a strike doubled coin. Just the loss and shrinking of the features of the coin is going to point to strike doubling all day long. This one right here is sold for $41 freaking dollars. So if you got them, sell them. Not because I'm telling you it's a legit error or variety, but because people are crazy enough to spend that kind of money. $41 with 36 bids. There were a lot of people interested in this thing. And then finally, we're going to end it off on one last piece of currency. And I promise this is the last one because it is the last inclusion to the list. 1996, later model $20 bill, I guess. It's the non-colorized big head version. But this one has a partial back-to-front wet ink transfer. All right, and these pop up when you least expect it. I found one of these probably 15 years ago, sold it for double face value, which is not too bad. I'll take that all day long. Of course, this is like in 2006 or somewhere around there. This one, however, sold for a lot more than that. It sold for $105. Yeah, that's a pretty good return. How about I do a little magic trick? Here's my 20. Voila, there's a $100 bill, guys. There's a little bit of a back print or a back image there. You can see a little bit of the teller mark right there. So when it's in a strap, they'll run their teller marker across the edge, causing that. But that's there's a close up. Yeah, I thought we were all done for the day. Well, sure enough, we're not. But there, yeah, we're done. We're done, and I'm done, but you guys are not. You guys are going to go out there and you're going to do a little hunt of your own. Hopefully this video gave you some sort of inspiration to do that. There's a lot to love here, a lot of great stuff to look for, not only in circulation, but if you're cherry picking eBay or you're cherry picking your local coin shop or that coin show this weekend, be on the lookout for some of these coins. I talk about them all day long, but go ahead and put pen to paper, jot down some notes, go out there and find your lion's share. But that's going to go ahead and do it. It was certainly a pleasure. Let me know what your favorite coin or piece of paper is for the week. But you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. Good luck in your hunts. Don't forget, I'm on TikTok as well, at BlueRidgeSilverhound. But that's going to go ahead and do it, my friends. I'm out of here, and so are you. You guys take care, and I'll see you next time.